for today. We would like to share with you all the what do we think, or how do we receive this? What is the merit to be a medicine woman or a grandmother in this tradition, no, ancient wisdom? So we were sharing about. Usually, we see that the medicine woman or this as a special people, of course they are, but as something that is outside of us, something that in a sense we don't possess, we don't have, so we have to go to find it out there, no? And I think it's very important to realize that medicine women and the women that hold the wisdom are a referent, are like these role models that are showing and reflecting in us that we already have all that capacities and abilities, and that we need to, of course, do a work, a transformation, something that for this to flourishing. But the capacities, it is already in every person and in every woman. This is what I feel. And I think we are doing this transit from seeing this very far from us to the present times and days, that we are seeing that it is within us, this medicine woman, and that we need to recover, we need to remember that. This is my sharing. So I pass the word to Anna.
Yeah. So what would mean be a wisdom woman nowadays in the modern times, in the 21st century? What resonates with me is to become our authentic self, which means to become your true self, to understand what does that mean to you, to honor what that means to you, and to become it without the fear of being excluded, being judged, being afraid of what can happen, because that is honoring and embodying your self-love, your self-worth, your sovereignty. And it's love, it's self-worth, it's to be sovereign, that we women and men as well, to be the change that we want to see in the world, to start to value our own nature, so we are able to value the nature around us, the nature within others, which can be different from ours, but we include, we accept. And we do that with others and the world and nature if we do that with ourselves. So that's what I believe to embody these medicine women nowadays. Mm. And I pass the stick to Dao.
Thank you, beautiful sisters. While I was listening to you, it definitely comes to me the energy of daring, like to dare. And this courage and this strength that we have, the women, we have that strength and that courage. And therefore the importance of being together, because when we are together, we amplify our individual strength and we feel confident enough to speak our truth and to dare, even confronting things, situations, ways of being that we know that have traditionally guided our societies into a very obscure era we are right now. And yet at the same time, there is this beautiful energy that is coming in the earth to give birth to the new through the women. And for that, those who are holding the space of possibility without knowing exactly how to do that, but confident enough in that feeling and the heart that I want to serve the possibility, those for me are the wisdom holders. Because in order for us to allow a new future, we need to dare to be confident enough in ourselves, in the capacity of we are working together. And for me, medicine women, by definition, in these contemporary times, are the ones who hold hands together and they walk in community because they understand that transformation cannot be solved or cannot be delivered by one single leader, which is the traditional way of leading things that we know it does not serve anymore. So very honored to share this word with you, beautiful women, and I pass it to my beautiful Marjadi.
Thank you. Thank you. I think a medicine woman, a Sha woman, a grandmother has so many different expressions. And it is because we are all reflecting the journey that brought us to the realization that we are allowed to be who we are, to look at ourselves and embrace our wisdom, our pain, our trauma, our experience, our love, our empathy, our compassion. And it is, in my experience, a living journey. We learn to embrace a part of us that has been forgotten. And this realization, and I can only speak out of my own experience, is coming during the years, because then suddenly there is this reflection or this mirroring of somebody who says something to you. Like, you could be a shaman, you could be a wise woman, you could be a grandmother. And for me, it was like, where is this coming from? And then this journey starts inside, like, what does it mean? Why is somebody reflecting that to me? So there's a lot in mirroring and reflecting, and that comes from circles, that comes from women sitting together. Because in my experience, I am who I am. I only see myself and I'm very used to myself, so I don't know what is special about me. So it can only be mirrored and be reflected towards me by the other women. And in that process, staying receptive, staying humble, staying vulnerable, and willing to learn what it is to be myself.
Mm-hmm.
Letting go of everything, the traumas, the pain, the society that has brought us to wear certain positions, certain masks, certain whatever. And then underneath that is that little girl that is magic and that is still dancing and wants to share her love and her joy with everybody. And in that little girl is so much wisdom from the ancestors. And that little girl learned in life and now learns that these lessons, without all the masks and without all the codes and filters, these lessons become this full person that I am now, and still reflecting who am I, because it continues to be a learning process. I think it continues to be an embrace of myself and learning and mirroring with other people and learning from you and seeing the beauty in you and thinking, oh my God, this is so beautiful, and how can we weave together? So that is, for me, it's a complete journey, I think, until I go over and pass over to the next.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
And also, we can say that the medicine and the wisdom women's are those who can not only transform their traumas and experience hurting experience that we had, but also that they can honor their story, because as the fungi, this story has become the compost of the basis
Wow.
from where they become and from where they flourishing. So it is not that, of course, you overcome some difficulties and traumas and everything and conditioning that you have, but also you have the wisdom to embrace that experience, to transform it, and to recognize it and honor it as the compost, the base, the field from where you today are flourishing. And I think that's a very beautiful and important way of embracing your story that is different than denying or cutting away. No, it's like the integration and the coherence. And from that coherence is that comes the power to the feeling alive, no? From where you can share your light with others. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And if I can add one more thing, like we've been talking about the medicine woman. So the medicine that you have to share with the world rests on your story. Because we don't find the gold, it doesn't come, it doesn't fall onto our lap. We have to find it. And in life, we find it through obstacles, challenge. And when we dare to face our shadows, our darkness, we all have darkness and light. Usually the society, the system allowed us to share our light, but tell us to hide our darkness. But it's in the underworld that we're gonna find our gold, where we alchemize to gold and to discover our medicine.
Wow.
Thank you.
That is why we become very powerful because we go through so many deaths, so much compost, so much darkness, and at the end we become more alive. So we transcend in that way the worst things, or as we perceive them as something bad, and we understand that the wisdom lies just one step after that, one step, just lean in a little bit more, and then you just realize, yeah, I'm transformed by the experience. I'm stronger thanks to the experience, and then that becomes the what fuels our vision to go and again and be confronted or be challenged by life and the and changes and collapses and all sort of uncomfortable situations, and yet we dare to go beyond them because it's just a rite of passage that will lead us to light, to strength, to wisdom. Beautiful women.
Yes.
Thank you.
And another element that I see in the medicine woman is, together with this courage and daring, is compassion. Because as we are speaking here, not everyone is prepared to face the suffering and to face the trauma. And sometimes we all have different times, no? Sometimes people it's not possible for them to do it, so they hurt themselves and they hurt other people. And I think the medicine woman, because they have done this process, can feel this compassion for themselves and for others, because also we, years ago or lives before, we don't know, we also couldn't do it. But it comes a time when all these things come together, when we meet each other, when we come into this energy that allow us to do the process. And I think that's very beautiful. This is why the medicine women are like soft and strong, courage and compassion at the same time. Yes.
And what I sense also, and it resonates all, but I also sense it's always a choice. There's always a choice that we have to make. So it's all very much in awareness and with a consciousness. Okay, what is mine to do at this very moment? So going through the shadow work with consciousness and making choices to stay in love and stay with our compassion for ourselves and for others, instead of becoming bitter and rancorous and angry. That's a choice. So a medicine woman, I always see with the indigenous people, with the indigenous grandmothers, indigenous elders, there's so much softness, there's so much love. And it is because it is a choice. Because you can know it, okay, but can I embrace it and can I live it? What do I want to? And that is very, very important in our modern worlds, because there's so many different roles that are offered to us, you know. And do I want to? And if I want to, I make the choice and I move from that point.
Yes.
Beautiful. And the other thing that I see as embodying the wisdom of the women is the forgiveness. to forgive the ones that hurt us. Because they didn't mean to. If they were vibrating from love, they wouldn't do that. They would have compassion for us at that moment. So to forgive is not to accept that you are right, you are wrong, they are right, or whatever seems to be. But forgive is to see the innocence of others, to see how they are entangled in the fear-based thoughts, which is what runs the world today. So to see their innocence in that, and then to forgive them. And to forgive yourself when you have harmed and may harm others. To use that moment, that awareness of if you did, you forgive yourself, and if you do that again, to stop and think what led me to behave that way, which wasn't based on love. Because that's how we see there are still strings and bond attached to our education, to our what is expected from us, from where we learn and we see and we model, that we are repeating. And we are going to this transition in time that is requiring us to step up to a new vibration, to a new consciousness, to a new way of living, a new way of being, which is not fear that has driven us to here, but is the absence of fear. And absence of fear is love.
Mm-hmm.
Love with capital L, which includes romantic love, but it's much bigger than that. Or I should say broader, not bigger, but broader.
The thing with the medicine woman or with the grandmother is that she wants to share also. She wants to share her medicine. That's why she's called the medicine woman. She wants to heal. And what is the medicine then? And I'm reflecting a lot about it. What is the medicine? And we are healers. There are healers. We are all healers as medicine women. But the medicine is the wisdom that we take with us, the lived experience where we can speak from, the reflection that we can give, the love, the compassion. So yes, what is medicine? What is our medicine?
And how the circle becomes this medicine container where the healing can happen. the healing for women, especially, of being heard without judgment, the healing, as you say, Majadi, of mirroring with others, and the healing of humility to deeply, deeply be in presence with the other, honoring the other. That is I think, what we have experienced, all this magic and transformation that happens, that we have seen within the circles, that is powerful and amazing. Powerful and amazing. Yeah.
And he,
Oh,
from
sorry.
being witness, as I was healed by you guys last week, when you have witnessed my suffering and my pain, that's why we need a community to rise together, to recognize our medicine in ourselves within others. Thank you very much again.